Good afternoon, folks. We're back for another episode of Cooking for Creatures with me, your host, Rexxie, head chef here at the Code. People are often telling me, Rexxie, I can't satisfy my lady. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong video. People are often telling me, Rexxie, I'm having trouble feeding my baby fish. They just don't seem that interested in crushed up flakes or powder food. What can I feed them that would stimulate their natural prey drive and nourish them until they're consistently accepting prepared foods? Well, you're in luck, cultists, because today I'm going to introduce you to one of the easiest and most disgusting live foods in the hobby, microworms. Microworms are a live food popular among fish keepers due to their tiny size, fast reproduction, and easy care. I received my first culture almost a decade ago, and other than one time where I neglected them for nearly a year, I have never had to replace it. Thankfully, when I did lose my culture, I received another one from Fatty of Daffy's Reptiles, who had originally gotten it from me. So another plus of becoming part of the community. Lose your microworms, it's no big deal. Steal some back from your friend. Microworms are a nematode that, according to Wikipedia, are regularly found in moist beer mats. I had not known that, although both the beverage and the worms do contain a yeasty aroma, so it checks out. I use microworms for all of my baby fish, like bettas, gouramis, and the pistos, who depend on the live food for the beginning of their lives, as well as baby guppies, who will eat just about anything. I also use them for adult microfish, who seem to love them regardless of their life stage. Incorporating live food into your feeding regimen can be beneficial for any fish. Not only are they very nutritious as part of a balanced diet, but the movement of live food can entice even the pickiest of eaters. In the wild, fish spend much of their waking hours foraging and hunting. Live food stimulates this behavior, encouraging fish to search and peck at the worms as they wriggle in the water and on the substrate. Like any nutritious food, use microworms in moderation, switching more and more to powdered foods when the fish are interested in it, and to baby brine shrimp when their mouths are big enough. Now, follow me to the kitchen so I can show you how I make my cultures. The essential ingredients are oatmeal, yeast, and water. You'll need a container of some kind. I recommend it being one that you don't mind throwing out eventually, as it will become permanently disgusting, regardless of how well you wash it. Start by mixing the oats in the container with the boiling water. When the oatmeal cools, sprinkle in the yeast. Finally, stir the oats, distributing the yeast evenly throughout the mixture. Sometimes, we will also add a bit of spirulina powder to the mix, which is locally called the fatty method. This seems to make the worms more productive and potentially more nutritious, but it also seems to shorten the lifespan of the culture, so we like to make one of each. At this point in time, the oatmeal smells quite good. A bit yeasty, but still tempting. Now put the lid on the culture and poke a few holes in to allow ventilation. But make sure they aren't big enough for flies or any other pesky freeloader to get in who might want a taste of our sweet breakfast. We prefer to leave the culture to do its thing for a couple days before adding the microworms. This allows the yeast to colonize the oatmeal, which is what the worms are actually eating, while also acting as a strong defense against any mold spores that could sneak in and spoil the culture. On the other hand, you could add your microworms right away, so long as the oatmeal isn't too hot to burn their tiny little bodies. Well, now that we've let it cook for a few days, the culture is ready for inoculation. If you find mold, do not panic. Remove the section of the oatmeal which is contaminated, and replace with more oatmeal yeast mix. That's starting to smell yeasty, just how the worms like it. Now we add a bit of worms for our starter culture. We always use Cult of the Plant brand microworms, guaranteed to have 5 million worms. No more, no less. Once you have a culture, you could potentially keep it going indefinitely, so using a little bit of the worms from your old culture is perfectly suitable. Microworms are incredibly resilient, So unless your culture has gone bone dry, it is likely there are still a few little guys wriggling around in there. Oh, this culture is ripe. It's like if someone threw up in a bag and left it under a heat lamp. You do not want to leave this culture anywhere near where you eat or sleep, unless you're into that kind of thing. Now replace a small dollop of the old culture into the new one and mix it up. You do not need to put a lot, as the old oatmeal has been thoroughly soaked in worm poop. A few worms go a long way. We usually put them near our aquariums so that they get a bit of the ambient heat, and the warmer the culture is, the faster the worms will reproduce. That being said, when the culture is producing at a rate that we are happy with, we move them to a cooler location, which prolongs its lifespan. After a few days, you'll notice the worms starting to climb up the sides of the container. This is good. That means they are ready for harvesting. Oh wow, that is extremely yeasty. Like a leftover omelet you forgot in a Tupperware at the back of your fridge for a few months. Oh, that's enough to make your stomach turn. That tells you, unless you're into that kind of thing. We use a designated toothbrush to harvest the worms. You could also use a paintbrush, and sometimes people even use their fingers, but that's too hardcore for us. Gently run the toothbrush along the side of the container. Please note, you can often harvest more worms with one toothbrush swipe than you might think, and it is always better to slightly underfeed and do it a second time than to greatly overfeed. Now that we have worms coating the brush like a fine layer of toothpaste, gently swirl the toothbrush in the tank that you wish to feed. The worms will now begin to swim and will be easy pickings for your hungry fish. While fish may not be able to say thank you, know that they are grateful, and this act makes the great plant in the sky smile upon you this day. After a week or so, you may notice the worm production beginning to decline. This is due to them having consumed a majority of their resources and replaced said resources with their poop. At this point, you have two options: start a new culture, or add some more resources to prolong the life of this one. Stirring your culture periodically can also help stretch its life, bringing new nutrients to the surface while pushing waste to the bottom. Stretch the culture's life even further, mix in some more fresh, yeasty oatmeal. Oh geez, that is ripe. Oh, that smells so bad. It's like if a nacho fell under the stove and onto a nest of centipedes, all whom have IBS. Oh. It's like a bunch of rats who have started ritualistically throwing their dead into your dryer exhaust. Like some type of volcanic funeral rite. And the, oh geez, and the taste. Oh, it tastes so bad. It tastes like a bunch of used diapers that have been steaming in a dumpster in July. So there you have it, plant people. The most disgusting fish food known to man. A staple in any fish room, and any kitchen. If you're into that kind of thing, no judgment. We all have our fringe interests, don't we? If you ever have any questions, or would like to get your hands on a culture of your own, contact a cultist near you. And if you have a different method for culturing the worms, I don't really care. But I suppose some might, so you could put that in the comments. And from all of us here at the Cult, bon appetit. Oh, that's rancid.